Hey guys, my name is Rick and welcome to One Piece Lab, your One Piece podcast to talk about anything and everything One Piece. Today we're going to talk about the live action One Piece show that's coming out on Netflix next year. Should be late next year. We'll talk about it a little more. It's going to have 10 episodes or so we're going to go through all that, what that might mean for One Piece. We're going to talk about a little bit about One Piece in general, what One Piece is. I'm not here to bore the true fans of One Piece that have been around for since Netflix just put the first 100 up, or watching it on Hulu before that, or watching it illegally online before that. So then we'll talk a little bit about me, who I am, what the heck I have anything to say with One Piece, why am I talking in the first place. Not too much about me because this is about One Piece, and that's what we'll get right back into, the One Piece Lab, why this lab exists in the first place. It's going to be a podcast about a bunch of stuff, all centering around One Piece. So before I bore you too much, let's get started. Before I get too far into it, I want to talk about spoilers real quick. I've never been a big fan of staying away from spoilers. That being said, I'm never going to surprise you guys with something giant that you should have been looking forward to, and now I ruined it for you. It'll be more so guidance along the way. We're going to talk about these first 10 episodes and what they might mean first, and I'm going to probably point out things that happen along the way. Take a look at this character. You're going to want to remember him and this guy, will never see him again. Things like that. I want to get you guys prepared for some really good story. Almost everything in the One Piece universe comes back around, which is awesome. There's a few minor characters in the beginning that are just there to show that our guys can fight, and you never see them again. Almost everything else you come back to or is mentioned again. So it really is a universe. When I say universe, I mean Ichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, has really woven a whole universe, not just the world. We travel to the moon at some points. I mean, it's a really crazy show. And of course the sea, the ocean, the most mysterious part of the world, especially its depths. So that being said, I got off track a little bit. Spoilers. I'm never going to ruin your day. I'm here to help along the way. This podcast, people who have already watched and read One Piece are going to get probably a little more out of it. People that are brand new, this is your place. This is going to be a good spot to start. So anyways, enough about spoilers. Live action, what's going on? Well, as soon as June 2020, today is July 20th, 2020. As soon as June, they said that production for the new live action show should begin August 31st, and it's supposed to wrap up February 8th of 2021. So that's why we're thinking this show will be on Netflix a little later in the year, 2021. Maybe third quarter turnout or something like that. They're going to have some editing to do, and they'll throw it out there as soon as possible. I'm sure they want to make those production values back. Right now, we are in the middle of Corona. That's why I've got my green Zorro bandana on. I'm still working in the office, so it's not just a fashion sense. So that being said, Corona has pushed back their production. I'm sure it's still giving them complications. I'm sure they're going to find a way to keep moving through it. So it's going to start filming in Cape Town in South Africa, which is very interesting. For the fun of it, knowing that it's near the Horn, the bottom of Africa, I typed in Cape Town pirates in Google, and what did it come up with? Notorious pirate Captain William Kidd is reportedly sighted off the coast of Cape Town, June 20th, 1697. So that was when pirates were really out and about. That was near the end of the real world pirates of that age. Around the early 1700s, they all but died out. All the countries got their navies together to whip them into place. But late 1600s, that's when the real pirates were around. And Captain Kidd, we all recognize that name. A lot of Oda's characters in One Piece are based on actual people, whether that's actors and just their names or their likeness as well. It's hard to create a whole new universe just from people from out of your head. So he uses characters and people to his advantage. So Cape Town, South Africa, definitely a good spot to start filming piracy events. beautiful beaches, the ocean's right there. So be pretty cool. End of 2021, we're going to expect this. Casting, people might ask, well, who's going to be in this thing? We still don't know. If you Google it, there's still a couple rumors of 1 or 2 actors that have already been cast, but they're just rumors, so I'm not really going to talk about them. I'm more interested in, are they going to cast based on what we see in the show? That is, Ichiro Oda has told us the nationalities of the Straw Hats, and that is Luffy should be Brazilian, Nami is Swedish, Usopp is African, Sanji is French, Zoro is Japanese, etc. So he's gone into it. It was definitely more for fun than anything else, I'm sure. So if they're not casted that way, I don't think anybody's going to be too butthurt about it. As long as they get some good actors, I'm happy with it. I'm sure they're going off of skill more than anything else. So, but that would be interesting if they did follow that choice of events. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 10 episodes. What does that mean? Well, they have said it will end with Arlong Park. So that will end with Luffy taking down Arlong. We can assume that's episode 10. So where does that leave us? That leaves us about 44 episodes in the anime condensed into 10 episodes. 44, 50, depending on how you look at it. That's about 100 chapters. One Piece, of course, is based off a best-selling manga in Japan, and it was adapted to anime, and now it's getting live action. So condensing 44 episodes into 10 episodes is going to be hard. People are going to be hurt by things that they love that are cut out or changed entirely. Will they even follow the timeline? So again, what might that look at? I'm here to talk about it. So the first episode, there's a couple of different ways you could do the first episode. One is more likely, and then the one is the one we all want to see. The one we all want to see is Luffy as a child with Shanks in Luffy's village, eating the devil fruit, getting saved by Shanks. That's a whole episode in and of itself. And by the way, I don't even think we know if it's an hour-long episode, 30-minute episode, 45-minute episode. So that's going to change a lot of how these episodes play out, what all they're going to cut out and everything. But I would say an episode would be Shanks, Luffy as a kid, but I don't think that's how we should go because it's a brand new episode, a brand new show, and I think people need to dive right into it. So I think what that means is episode 1 is Luffy bursting out of the barrel on Alvida's ship, and we are going to experience Luffy for the first time with Kobe, much like we did in the anime. You get to learn his mannerisms and his goals. And the first thing he's going to say is, I'm going to be king of the pirates, or it better be. You don't need to wait till the last minute of the show. You know, that's what we're about. Come on, it's Luffy. He's going to say it right away, and he's going to say it 20 times. And then we're going to see him have fun with Kobe, and hopefully they're going to get off the ship and probably find Zoro. And I can see that being the end of episode 1. That sets up episode 2 being getting Zoro, defeating Captain Morgan. And, I mean, that's not a lot of content there either. So, I mean, they could definitely find Nami at that time and head on to Buggy's adventure. So that would be episode 3. I'm assuming we'll see Buggy. Go all out with Buggy. It'll be interesting to see Zoro versus Kabaji, of course, and Luffy versus Buggy will be the first probably big CGI event we see. The first time we have 2 Devil Fruit users going all out on each other. We've got Buggy's special cannon blast, so we'll see how that goes. You know, that'll be some good effects there, but man, the CGI is, I assume, going to be crazy in this show. They're supposed to be putting as much production into this as some Game of Thrones seasons. I don't know if that's what I've heard. It's the highest paid action drama ever. So let that sink in. It's not just Netflix saying, we're going to try this on for size. They're putting some serious money into this. So these battles are going to be cool, and they need to be. Luffy, by the way, if you didn't know, is made out of rubber, and he's going to be stretching. That's CGI. I mean, that's pretty much the only way you can do that. And Buggy having the chop fruit, being able to split his body into a million different pieces and doing crazy things with them, that's a lot of CGI. So there's going to be a lot of CGI. I hope they do their best to do also a lot of costume and makeup design, because we all know that that's where the real goods are, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few episodes. So episode 3, Buggy. Episode 4, we got to get to Usopp. This is the one I'm unsure of. 1 or 2 episodes, what are we thinking? It's definitely a quick arc, but man, I really want to see this fight. Fight versus Captain Kuro is a fight where you start seeing Luffy's not only supernatural because he's rubber, he was granted that with the Devil Fruit, not only supernatural because he's got super strength, but now he's seeing super speed. He's not only able to match those speeds, but he's able to produce it too, and he's able to defeat Captain Kuro. Captain Kuro is one of my favorite guys. I've got contacts in right now, but ever since I was a little kid, I adjust my glasses like this, of course. So Captain Kuro's awesome. He's got the awesome claws. I'm really excited to see that happen again, if it happens. So I can see that being 1 episode, but they're gonna rush it. It would be nice if it had 2. Probably not, but the next is the one I think we're all waiting for. The Baratie, however you want to say it. Sanji. Sanji is my favorite Straw Hat. Just don't judge by the poster of Zoro. That was a present. Sanji's my favorite. He's the cook. He's inspired me to cook my whole life. So I'm the main chef in the family. I like to call myself a chef only because I'm sure Sanji would grant it to me. So the Baratie, a lot going on in the Baratie. It has to be 2 episodes. Please, can it be 2 episodes? Dawn Creek Pirates. Probably, you need at least 20 minutes to figure out the Baratie, and hopefully you see Sanji beat up Captain, I don't think he's Captain, Full Body, whoever that Marine is. Beat him up, get maybe even a flashback with Zeph and Sanji. Maybe we can see Patty and Carne shenanigans. That would be amazing. Just really shows how well Sanji cooks and what he can do for the group, and then bring in the Dawn Creek Pirates. I mean, the galleon he's supposed to be on is bigger than they've ever seen, and they're ruthless. And I really want to see Pearl. I think we all want to see live action Pearl. I don't think it'll probably happen, but fingers crossed. Gin, of course, and Dawn Krieg. Dawn Krieg versus Luffy is going to be something to see live action. It's a lot of weapons and armor and things like that, so I don't think they'll have to use a lot of CGI for this battle, which is awesome. It might be pretty low budget for them. They can keep it cheap, but keep it really awesome with all the costumes and the weapons, all the gadgets Dawn Krieg has. And then guess what? By the end of the 5th episode, we'll still call it episode 5 if we're counting here, Hawkeye Mihawk strolls in, and that should be the 6th episode, wrapping up Baratie, Dawn Creek fight, Zoro versus Hawkeye, really starts showing what Hawkeye is about. And guess what? The introduction of the Shichibukai, the 7 warlords of the sea. Hawkeye is one of them. Keep that in mind for later. Doesn't mean anything to you now. So Dawn Krieg is done. Hawkeye has left. Nami is gone with the ship. So spoiler alert, too late. Again, this isn't for you people. Just keep going. They head to Arlong Park. So we're at Arlong Park, and the introduction to fishmen arise. And this is a whole arc that is referenced to multiple times throughout the universe, and especially the Fishman Island arc halfway through the series. 450 episodes away from where you are, so don't worry about it now. But like I said, keep it in your mind. Fishmen will come back again and again, and they are just delightful beings. So the Fishman Island arc, the big question, CGI or costume? Oh man, if they could make awesome costumes and makeup that well to show Arlong, this big saw nose, and Chew with his giant freaking lips, Kurobi with his I think Kurobi would be pretty easy, just some fake wings on him, looking all badass, and Hachi might need some CGI arms. I don't know, maybe you could puppet those. Either way, we better see all of them. We better see those one-on-one battles, and so Arlong Park could be all set up in the 6th episode, and I think the 5th episode could be all fighting. It could be the pre-season finale, just one-on-ones, Sanji, Kurobi, Hachi and Zoro, and then Chu and Usopp. And Usopp actually finally gets to kind of prove himself, because he wasn't there for the Dawn Creek battle. He was on the ship, and Nami was already gone. So Usopp finally proves himself as one of the crew that can hold his own against one of the fishmen. I mean, he was one of the top 3 fishmen, so it's a pretty good bump for him, showing what he can do. And Sanji, of course, this is Sanji's first separate arc with them as well, so he gets to show stuff versus Kurobi. And again, Zoro you never get disappointed with Zoro's fights. Even when he's bandaged to hell and dying in the process, he's still able to hold his own. And then, of course, Arlong and Luffy. And I guess that's how episode 10 has to end. But I hope it's an early ending. I hope they get all that. The one-on-one's done in episode 8, Arlong and Luffy in episode 9, and the 10 it'd be nice to see the fall down of Arlong's part in 10. Maybe we finally get that flashback to Shanks and Luffy, and maybe we see the beginning of Rogue Town coming up. Maybe Smoker with his feet up on the desk, smoking away, and going, Luffy, huh? Who's this new kid? Well, let me head to Rogue Town and find out. A lot happens in Rogue Town. But Arlong Park's absolutely going to be the coolest thing, because, again, I think we're waiting to all see what the fishmen are, what they look like. So, again, episode 1, Luffy. 2, Zoro. 3, Luffy versus Buggy. 4, Usopp. 5, Baratie. 6, the end of the Baratie. 7, Arlong Park. 8, one-on-one battles with Arlong Park villains. 9, Luffy versus Arlong. So again, I've got that 10 hanging up in the air, because Syrup Village with Usopp could be 2. And again, maybe the first episode is just all Shanks. So both of those scenarios bump it up to 10. Don't know which way it'll go. And again, I don't know if any of these will happen. They specifically said Arlong Park, so Arlong Park's happening, but what else is happening? We don't know. They could change absolutely everything, and I'm sure it's going to be a good time no matter what happens. So that's the One Piece live action prediction update. I'm going to always come back and update you guys as soon as I hear anything else out. Show's not over, though. Let's talk a little bit more about One Piece. Hard to guess, right? So, One Piece. If you're still brand new to One Piece and you're still listening after 18 minutes, thank you for being here. I'll tell you what One Piece is, because unfortunately you probably don't know a lot about it. One Piece is the highest selling manga of all time, surpassing Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, and then Z. One of the highest grossing media franchises of all time, worth over 221 billion berries, or 21 billion US dollars in revenue. And it's right up there with things like Harry Potter, Mario, Batman, Star Wars, and of course the highest of all time, Pokemon. So those are the things. When you think of those kinds of things, One Piece is right up there with you. Unfortunately, you just haven't had a lot of familiarity with it. And if it's because you're in the United States, like me, Clearwater, Florida, that's why I'm starting to sweat. It's about 92 in my garage right now. You were ruined, One Piece, by 4Kids Animation. Sorry, 4Kids, but fuck you. Fuck you for doing this to the whole United States. But guess what? I somehow got through the cracks. I kept on watching. 15 years later, that's why I'm here talking to you, instead of everybody else talking about it like you should know about this already. 4Kids absolutely ruined One Piece. They took away violence, blood, alcohol, cigarettes, whole episodes, whole characters. They changed characters' skin color. I mean, it was just a lot of unnecessary stuff just to get it on Cartoon Network. I'm glad they did, because that's how I found it, and then I've kept going online after I kept watching the about 100 or so episodes that 4Kids put out. They shortened it by about 40 episodes. They got through the Alabasta arc, which is a good place to stop. That's where the Netflix stops at this moment, and soon to be Skypiea. So what did I do after 4Kids stopped showing it? Cartoon Network, rather. I went online and I found it on YouTube, actually, and you had to look up One Piece episode 155 Part A, or Part 1 of 3, and you'd have to find the English subtitles. It was all Japanese, of course, which is the only way to watch it now, and you'd watch a 24-minute episode in 3 parts, 7 minutes each, give or take a few seconds. So that's how I kept watching it. Watched all of Skypiea, kept going from there. Water 7. I think I got pretty much caught up on the episodes in Water 7, Enies Lobby arc, and that's where I found out, hey, this is actually based on the best-selling manga of all time. What the heck's going on? What's manga? Oh, it's the written comic version of this, So I went online and I found the manga, and kept reading the Enies Lobby arc, went right up through Thriller Bark, and I remember watching or reading Thriller Bark, and it was so cool because I love Halloween already, and it's spooky, and it's hideous, and all these other things, and it's awesome to read ahead that far. You'd think you're far because the anime is so far behind, and then every single week you're waiting for another anime episode to come out to animate those events that you read about, and that's the best part of it all, is waiting week after week after week. Chapter 985 just came out last week. That's how far we are, guys. Episode 933 just came out last week, and so the episodes, you just got to keep going. Whether it's on Hulu, you watch all you can on Hulu, and Hulu is very far at the moment. I don't know if they're going to change since Netflix is getting it. Or you just go online and find it. Pay for it if you can, but just find it, just watch it. And past Alabasta arc, Skypiea has to be my favorite. And if Skypiea is not my favorite, Water 7 and Enies Lobby has to be my favorite, and I think that's everyone's favorite. I mean, it's hard to argue elsewise. Yes, every other arc is amazing, and that's not the pinnacle of One Piece to say you can go home now. That's just to get the ball started. I mean, it takes you, and it says, all right, you see how amazing this is? Keep going, and there's no reason not to. The only time you might get a little burnt out is if you're watching the anime and you get to the episodes 500s, and then it starts getting a little filler-y. What's filler? Filler is the episodes are getting too close to the chapters, so they need to kind of start stretching out the time, stretching out these fights, showing more flashbacks. It gets really redundant. But guys, that's not till the 500s, okay? If you're still on 100, 200, you got a ways to go. And I'm not saying that it gets bad at the 500s. All I'm saying is if you get burnt out around the 500s, one, you're gonna push through the 500s because it's the Fishman Island arc, and it is the most vibrant, amazing, cool place that they've been yet. So you're gonna watch the end of Fishman Island arc, especially the 1-versus-1 battles. It's post-time skips, so you're gonna wanna finish those. You finish Fishman Island arc, you start getting burned out, jump to the manga, keep reading all the way up, because there's no filler in the manga. It's straight from God Oda's hand to the paper. His people fill it in and they hand it to you, and it's amazing. There's no filler. It's the best word in the world. So just keep reading the manga. Buy the volumes if you can. It's on every one of my wish lists on Amazon. Buy me the volumes. I got one. I'll bring it next time. It's actually Arlong Park. I got it when I was real little at a bookstore. I found it, and they only had one, of course, because nobody read One Piece back then. And asked my mom, and she bought it for me. So the manga is so good. And then, like I said, when you got time, you're going to want to go back and watch the anime, because then it's bringing everything you read to life. Even if you don't want to watch all this filler, you're going to want to watch some of these characters come to life. What do their voices sound like? What color is their hair and outfit? And, what does that sound make when he does use that move, weapon? And you're going to want to watch the anime, so you're never going to get burnt out on One Piece. You go, Brody, 900? Are you crazy? I'm not even going to begin. Don't worry about it. Just Netflix has 100. trust me, you're not going to get burnt out after those 100. They're going to fly by. You're going to have it on all the time as you're making supper and chilling all evening and vacuuming. You're just going to want to have it on and watch it, and it's going to go by so quick. I've got multiple friends that I have already it just came on Netflix. I have multiple friends that have already watched all the way through it. It's not hard. It's not that you don't need to not have a life for it. But guess what? If you're in quarantine, now's the time to start. And you're going to get past those 100 and you're going to say, I'll take 100 more. If you watch 100 more, you're hooked for life, because again, that's Skypiea. We're going to talk about that some more later on. So that's me. I've been watching it since it came out April 2005 on a Saturday. I decided to sit down and watch it because I saw a new show was coming, and I did. I've been a fan ever since for 15 years, and I think that's something to say in the United States because, again, 4Kids turned so many people off to it. Guess what, people? I'm the #1 One Piece fan in the United States. Come to me. Let's talk. I just love it so much, and that's what this podcast is going to be about, One Piece Lab podcast. It's going to be centered around One Piece. I'm going to talk about the manga, I'm going to talk about the anime, and of course the live action show. And I think what I want to do to prep for the live action show is take it chapter by chapter, manga by manga, anime by anime episode of those first 44, 50 episodes or so that they're going to condense into those first 10 episodes. I'd like to really go over those well, so me and you and I are ready for those live action episodes to come out. So that's my main focus for this next year or so until we finally get to see the live action review, and then we'll talk about other stuff. We'll talk about the movies, we'll talk about the games, we'll talk about The Legend of Zelda, and we'll talk about popcorn, and we'll talk about anything and everything. And I'm gonna have guests and people I like that don't know One Piece, and they know everything about One Piece, and people that don't even want to talk about One Piece. We might talk about Bigfoot that day. So it's going to be a real chill podcast. One Piece is the theme. Like I said, I wonder how many times I said One Piece this time. Someone count that. One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. One Piece Lab. My name's Rick. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll talk again soon.